Hi, I'm Terry Whalen. I work with P.A.W.S Rescue Group. I am currently the president of their board. P.A.W.S has been in existence for about 10 years now, and I've been involved for the past 8. We are a program that provides foster care for animals that are homeless or stray or abandoned. We also have a spay-neuter program that we provide services for the community with 2 different programs. One is a voucher program where any individual can purchase the voucher to have their animal spayed at a reduced cost. And then we also have a program for low-cost spay-neuter for individuals who are receiving any kind of public assistance. Those are the 2 biggest programs we have right now, and we fundraise to support both of those programs, and we've also been fortunate enough to get some grants to support the spay-neuter program. We feel strongly that spay-neuter is really the answer to the problems that we're facing. There's going to be a continual influx of unwanted animals until we can establish a protocol of all animals being spayed and neutered. And that's really our goal, is to focus on that.
I fostered a dog. Well, I went to an adoption day, and there was this horrible dog there that would not behave. It was trying to fight the other dogs. It was pulling on the leash. It was terrible. And I thought, oh my word, nobody's going to take this dog home. He's just awful. So I'll just take him home. Well, he just was that way because he was scared. He didn't know how to act, around all those dogs and new people. He had an ingrown collar. He had been neglected. He had a bad limp. And so we brought him home to foster. And my crunchy lab liked him. And my husband said, if Barney likes him, he must be pretty good, so we might as well just keep him. So that was my first foster failure. And since then, we have fostered many, many more. And my favorite is when Terry calls or Dan calls and says they have a very sick little baby that needs some help. And to have that feeling, I get choked up. Like Finn, for instance, that's my baby. And this was him when he got adopted, and I just received a video of him swimming. He is a huge, gorgeous border collie mix.
The mother dog had puppies repeatedly, and they were left to fend for themselves. A kind neighbor contacted us and said, I'm willing to take them if you will help me. So she went and got the mom, who we still have in foster care, and 8 puppies. We took 4 of the puppies and the mom, and another rescue group in another county took the other 4 puppies.
So this dog swimming here
Is this?
Yeah, he stayed in a buoy, his mama said.
And how long ago was this?
This is maybe 7 months ago, 8 months ago.
I'd say so.
So this is a happy ending.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely a happy ending.
From this?
That's him.
Wow.
Look how gorgeous he is. I'm so proud. There's just nothing better than when you have a little baby that's dying, and then he is alive, and I have something to do with it that makes us really happy. That's the best part.
We take the ones that are sick, that need surgery, that have no socialization, that are old, that have chronic medical problems.
This baby came in with some horrible wounds we're assuming were caused by a wild animal. They were horribly infected, and you see how well she's healing.
For instance, a dog we just took in 2 weeks ago, her name is Anya. She is a 1.5-year-old dachshund that was dumped by her breeder out in the county. And she has no hair, and she's very timid. Under normal circumstances, this dog would have been euthanized. She's in a foster home. You'll get to see her later today. She's in the home where we're going to go later to visit the puppies. And it's just going to take time. It's going to take time to get her body to heal and time for her mind to heal. And we have that time.
And it's possible.
It is possible. It's very possible. She is going to make a wonderful pet for someone. And without the opportunity of living in a home where she can have that interaction with other people and the medical care that she needs, that we have to pay our vets just like anybody else. It's not given for free. But we're dedicated to that, and that's what we want to do, is to help those that can't help themselves.
So how does the adoption process work?
If, like Terry was saying, one thing is, let's say you were interested in adopting an animal,
Right.
and you really didn't know you might be adopting from the shelter, maybe from P.A.W.S, whatever. But you can go on shoalsp.com and fill out an adoption application. That doesn't mean you're going to adopt. It just means that we can pre-approve you if you decide to adopt. So you've been approved, and now you go to different adoption days, and maybe the Saturday you didn't find the perfect pup for you, so you come back another time. If you find that perfect pup, it can go home with you that day because you've already been approved.
And we often will get adoption application, and everything can be done online. And we'll have an adoption application come in for a dog that the person has seen on the website. And so typically that application is what we call process, where we contact the individual, we talk with them, find out what their interests are, what they're looking for, make sure the animal they've indicated would be a good fit for them. We then call their references, call their vet, make sure that they have a good track record of taking good care of the pet. And then we'll set up a meeting with the adopter and the foster parent with the animal. And so there's a face-to-face with the foster and the animal. And so the adopter really, that's their first chance to meet the animal in person. And if all goes well, they can take the animal home at that point in time. We have had adopters who, once they meet the animal, say, that's really not what I'm looking for, and we'll guide them towards another animal that we think might be better fit, and then we'll do another meeting, and we'll keep at it. We've had individuals who come to 3 and 4 meetings before they decide that this particular one is the one that they want. And that's fine. We'll work with you until we get just the right animal for you.
What is an adoption event?
We have an adoption event, usually monthly, and they're typically held at Petco, pet store here in Florence, where we have the foster dogs come with their foster families, and usually we'll have anywhere from 15 to 30 animals there on a given event. And people can come and meet them and spend time with them and walk them and ask the foster questions about the temperament and nature of the animal. And if they're interested in adoption, they can do an application either prior to the event and be approved and then come and meet the animals, or they can do an application right there on the spot.
That's it. The people who are fostering the pets
Yes.
Are showing up at this event.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And people who are interested could meet the pets in real life.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I see.
And we try to provide as much information about the pet as we can in terms of temperament, of course, age, any health history, any special needs. So we try to match the animal with the adopter. Our goal is that the animal ends up in a happy home and that the adopter is happy.
Hi, my name is Ashley Stoddard. I'm the P.A.W.S volunteer coordinator, and I'm on the fundraising committee, and I just volunteer for P.A.W.S.
I've been working with the organization for about 8 years now, and like a lot of us, I've had many animals in my home as fosters, and I've been able to adopt most all of them except for 3 that I just couldn't give up. And those animals are near and dear to both myself and my wife, so we really enjoy what we do.
Whether it's because they have children or other dogs or cats, or they have an active lifestyle, or it's an older person who has a more sedentary lifestyle, we try to find the right animal for them and guide them towards that animal so that they will be happy and care for that pet like their own family.
Right.
They're just, it's like everywhere you go, because we go to the vets a lot. I go to North Alabama a lot, and there's always people there I know. It's always the same people trying to save dogs. You know, some from Colbert, some from Florence, some from P.A.W.S, or just, people with a good heart. But it just takes somebody to say something. And if somebody doesn't say yes, then you just keep trying and fight for them. But oh my gosh, it's just, like I said, it's just so much. It's overwhelming.
You guys are all volunteers. It's not about the money. It's
No, if anything, it costs.
We cost a lot of money.
right.
I mean, just by our own choice, we will go the extra mile, and many of our volunteers pay for all their food. They pay for their own gas to transport the pet to adoption events. They buy fancy cars, they buy fancy leashes, they get them toys, crates, blankets, sweaters. We've had several volunteers, myself included, who've had their furniture chewed, and rugs have to be replaced, and that's nature of what we do, and we understand that, and it's all commitment. It's all commitment to helping and getting the animal where they need to go. But once we make a commitment to an animal, they are ours, and we do not turn them away, we do not euthanize, we do not bring them to the shelter. We will do whatever we have to do to take care of them. We get the word out there that you have a specific need for a specific animal. people will give, and they give from their heart. They don't know this animal, they don't know us, they trust that we're going to do what we have to do to help this poor guy, and we do it. And that's exactly where the money goes.
I took her to Mississippi State. I'm all excited to the vet school there. It's really a good one. And to have her assessed, and I thought I'd be leaving her for 3 weeks for physical therapy. But after all their testing, they said, there's nothing we can do. She's had a terrible trauma to her spinal cord. It's been this way for a while, obviously from the scars from her dragging her legs. Take her home. She needs to rest for 2 weeks. We'll just kind of reevaluate. But she couldn't control her bodily functions, so she had to have her bladder expressed several times a day. And then after 2 weeks, she walked. This funny little walk. Well, I'll let you meet Savannah.
She's out there.
Oh yeah, I'll let her in because she's gonna be. She thinks you came to see her. Hey, pretty one. The only thing that doesn't work is her tail. It will wag at the bottom, but she can't lift it. Good girl. We have to teach her not to jump up, which she still does occasionally because her back legs are weak. She falls into people, and so of course a child, she'll knock them down. But all the grandkids and little bitty kids adore her, and she loves me. Don't loves me. And this one. Yeah. What about me? Aren't you a good girl, Savannah? You are. You're such a good girl.
You guys are animal healers.
Yeah, I said pretty soon they're going to start calling Terry and I. Like, they say they work for Paws, but they're really animal hoarders.
A nonprofit, private organization, I think we're in a very good position to advocate for the overall well-being of animals in our communities. We approach all of the governing bodies with respect and appreciation for what they do. We know that they have a tough job in allocating funds, and we also understand that not everybody is an animal lover, and we respect that as well. But we do have responsibilities that we have to pay for, such as protecting the animals that are abused and neglected in our midst. So with that in mind, we have established very nice working relationships with the County Commission, with the City Council, with the Mayor of Florence. We're hoping to meet with one of the mayors over in Colbert County this Friday to talk about the changes that are occurring at the Colbert shelter. So we're really, I think, establishing a momentum that things need to change in the positive direction for the welfare of all animals in all of the counties that we deal with, which is Colbert, Franklin, and Lauderdale County.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, Jeannie.
Hey, Annie. Hey, Annie. She's playing again. Did you get Daddy make you some wheels?
Donna, this is Hero. Hero, this is Donna Kimbrough. This is my daughter, Erin. Can you say hi?
Hi.
She ate my diamond ring yesterday.
She ate it?
Yeah, she ate the diamond out.
Does she still have it?
Yeah.
So you're watching the food real carefully?
I can't do it.
Those chihuahuas we rescued.
See, we're 2 days old.
All right.
Hi, baby.
2 days old.
2 days old.
Oh yeah.
Hi, little baby.
And we were there when they were born.
I heard.
Yes. All right, we promise. We're being very careful.
Okay. She's worried about her babies.
I'm worried too.
You are.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Many times an adopter will offer to foster for us, or vice versa. A foster will adopt, and then they will continue to foster because they see the value of what we do. And, you know, if we did not have a foster home available, we literally cannot take the dog. We operate on a volunteer-only basis. Nobody is reimbursed. We also cannot guarantee a time frame. I mean, sometimes we'll bring a cute puppy into foster care that we think will get adopted in a week, and 6 months later we still have him. And so it's really hard to predict, you know, how long this commitment may last. Usually our fosters are good about hanging in there with their pet because they love them and they become attached and they want to see a good outcome for their foster animal too. We currently have about 80 animals in foster care, and so our expenses are huge on a monthly basis. Our vet bills tend to run anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 a month, depending on if we've had an extreme case come in. We have spent several thousand dollars on a dog that was injured. So it's not unusual for us to constantly be scraping enough money together to pay the bills at the end of the month. Just like a lot of households. It's really just like a lot of folks just trying to make ends meet, and it's paycheck to paycheck literally.
It's hard to say no, huh? I mean, when people...
It's
It's really hard for you to say no,
It's
because
about impossible.
she wound up with so many fosters that her entire life was take care of her child, who's 6, her husband work full time, and take care of 20-some fosters. So we had to put her in therapy on campus.
Which I am a therapist.
But, you know, she couldn't say no. She couldn't let one die. And we do that, and then we create situations for ourselves emotionally that are hard to deal with.
So what's it feel like to do something like that, to save a life and...
Well, I mean, obviously it's wonderful. Obviously it's very gratifying. It's very emotional. It's also very sad. When I went to pick up this particular dog, Anya, she was living in a shed, basically. The person who found her didn't want her. Thankfully called us, didn't just let her wander, didn't kill her, cared enough to contact us and ask if we would help. And they had her in the shed because they didn't know why she didn't have any hair. They didn't trust her with their other dogs. And again and again, we find people who are heartless enough to do this to an animal in the first place, but then we find people who really care and reach out. I feel blessed that I have the opportunity to help. They can't do it for themselves. We have to step up as a society and say enough. We have to take responsibility for each and every one. If we allow them to be born, they're our responsibility. There's nothing better.
That's why you're still here.
Yes.
With P.A.W.S, because you know that you have that power, and you've done it before.
Yes, over and over and over and over. And I hope someday we're not needed. I hope someday we don't need a foster program. I hope someday that our whole culture will understand that these are living creatures. And whether it's a dog or a cat or a bird or, a horse, we owe it to them to take care of them. We may not like them, we may not want to own them, we may not feel they're as important as some others, but we do not have the right to abuse them and neglect them at all. At least respect the dignity of their life, at least. And that's the message I want to get.